It's finally here. Yes, it is finally here. After 2 years of speculation and rumors and all that other stuff, we finally have the Zack Snyder Justice League. Finally. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut worked. That's twice we bullied your punk ass Hollywood. Oh man. But clocking in at 4 hours and 3 minutes. Holy shit, this is a long movie. Was it worth it? Did director Zack Snyder bring his vision to life and it turn out good? Well, let's talk about it.
I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit.
What's good, everyone? It's your boy Token Drew, and today on Drew's Reviews, we are talking about the Snyder Cut, Justice League, released exclusively on HBO Max on March 17th, 2021. Directed by Zack Snyder and starring, this is going to be a long one, fucking ensemble casts. Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne / Batman, Henry Cavill as Clark Kent / Superman, Gal Gadot as Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry / Aquaman, Ezra Miller as Barry Allen, aka The Flash, Ray Fisher as Cyborg, Amy Adams as Lois Lane, Jeremy Irons as Alfred, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, that jerk Amber Heard as Mara, and then the rest are spoilers, so we'll talk about them when we get to them. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and throw up a spoiler warning, because the non-spoiler review can be found under my new series, 1 Minute Reviews, and that's going to be for the YouTube Shorts beta. You're also going to find that on TikTok. You know, might as well. But you know what is not 1 minute is this damn movie. Like I said in the beginning, it is a long one. 4 hours and 3 minutes. That is long. Damn. Normally I try to give a synopsis of whatever I'm watching. That's what I did throughout the whole WandaVision series. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Even though I have not watched episode 1 by now. But I mean, how can I when the whole ass evening went to watching this damn movie? So first things first, the story is relatively the same as it was in the original Justice League movie released back in 2017. You have Batman trying to round up all these heroes to try and save the world because he believes a threat's coming. Now this one, it adds a ton more new scenes. You're getting 2 hours worth of more footage in here. So what I'm going to do in this is I'm just going to go over the shit that I liked and the shit that I didn't like and just, well, let's just chat it out, you know what I mean? I'm glad that this movie got to come out, because the fans have been pressuring for it so hard, and we got this. Now, some of my homies online are saying that this movie is not considered canon, and if you guys have been following my channel, you know how I feel about this. I don't give a damn about canon, all right? This was a $350 million reshoot, son. That better be part of the storyline, know what I mean? Even if they only do a trilogy out of these movies or whatever, screw the rest of the damn DCEU. Now, I mean, this is where it's at. And you can take that and marinate on it, son, because I really enjoyed this movie. However, it is not perfect. Like I said, it is the first Justice League movie again. So there's a lot of that happened in the first movie that we already saw that you're going to see again. They did cut out that opening scene with Batman chasing the robber, and it turns out there's a parademon, and I guess Batman is expositioning to the robber like he's not there, some stupid shit like that. So, this one starts out on a very more serious tone with Superman's death and his voice sending shockwaves throughout the entire world. And Lex Luthor actually mentions this back in Batman vs. Superman when he says the bells have tolled or the bells have already rung or some shit like that. That's what he's talking about. And it's really cool that this is tying into what we've already seen. There's a bunch of references to Batman vs. Superman in this, but this does take place before the Aquaman movie. Remember that when you watch it. This movie centers a lot more around Cyborg. He is really the heart and soul of the story, and that's what it was being said in the interviews before when they were talking about this movie. And honestly, I really did not understand that. But when I actually got to see the movie and see what they meant, it made a whole lot of sense. Cyborg is essentially the main character. You know, he's the new one who just got his powers. And I'm really glad they got to flesh him out. I know that Ray Fisher was going through a lot of drama on the set with Zack Snyder, and I believe Zack even apologized, but it's still no excuse to treat your workers like shit. You know what I'm saying? They're putting your vision out, and Zack has a very specific vision, and this movie, I feel like it encapsulates that, but it does bring up the question to me, is this what it was going to be regardless? Or did he switch up some things now that he's had 2 years to marinate on it, especially after the tragic events that happened in his life, which I'm not going to go into detail about. You can Google that shit yourself. It's not my place to talk about it. But since I am bringing it up here, I do want to say that you are not alone, okay? And I know we joke and we chill on this channel a lot, but I mean, there's people out there who are struggling with depression and all types of shit, and just remember that you are not alone. I'm going to post up this that's going to have a whole bunch of phone numbers worldwide that you can call, because there are people out there who care and they will listen to you. Hell, comment on my videos. I will talk back to anybody and you can see the history. I mean, I know I don't get a lot of views, but anybody who comments, I take my time out to comment back to them, at least eventually. In the movie, midway through it, there is a billboard that lingers on the ASFP.org. And what that is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I love the fact that Zack put that in this very high-profile movie. Very beautiful, very touching. So, just remember, you are not alone. Let's get back to this. So the first thing I gotta say is Wonder Woman was dope as hell, and her opening segment was crazy. You know, the shit that she does, how she stops the bad guys from killing these kids, you know, it was really cool. And that's how Wonder Woman should be. She should be inspiring. She should be powerful. And like you heard in my review of Wonder Woman 84, that movie was garbage. You know, this is a good depiction of Wonder Woman. They didn't have any of those weird sex jokes, even though there was a little flirty thing where Bruce Wayne and Diana like accidentally touch hands during the clicking the mouse thing or whatever, and the Flash shows interest in her, but it's like nothing obnoxious. Yeah, there is some upskirting, you know, but hopefully that changes, because that's not necessary. But that's just a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. We're getting better. I promise you, we are getting better, right? The music was great, even though some of the musical cues were too spot on, such as when Aquaman is revealed as Aquaman and it says the music, I'm not going to play it because I'm not trying to get no damn more copyright strikes, but something about the kingdom is here and this is the king, and like when it says the kingdom is here, it's flashed into the ocean and this is the king, it lingers on Arthur Curry's face for a minute. I'm just like, come on, that's just cheesy, but it's still a comic book movie, so they're supposed to be cheesy in this enchilada, you know what I mean? Steppenwolf was redesigned and he looks a whole lot better than he did before. Though he still looks very CG, and I do feel like they did add a bit too many spikes to him, I think it still looks way, I mean, we all do. I mean, that's not even just me. You know, it looks better. It looks way better. You know, in typical Zack Snyder fashion, there is way too much slow motion. Even the dumbest shit, such as Lois getting out of a taxi with coffee to go give some to a cop as she visits Superman's grave / memorial site in slow motion. Why? Why is that in slow motion, dude? This is why this damn movie is 4 hours long. And while I'm speaking about this, there are a couple of really, really unnecessary scenes that had me wanting to throw my damn Xbox controller right at the damn screen, especially when like Diana and Alfred make tea. Why? Why is this in this? Though there's a scene I did like. It was cool, but at the same time, they could have put that as a YouTube short. You know what I'm saying? Where Victor is getting his powers explained to him by his dad via a tape recorder, which is kind of weird how they do it, but sometimes you got to get exposition out. I get it. But he sees this woman who's having a hard time, and he alters her bank account to give her $100,000 to get her back on track. And though is it a cool, touching scene? Yeah, but this movie's long enough as it is. Cut that shit out. Release the Blu-ray and give me an edited version. I want this movie to be 3 hours long. To hell with all this bullshit. Another really weird part is when Aquaman returns to the sea and the scene lingers on these people singing this weird Icelandic song, and then this chick is sniffing his sweater that he left behind. Now get it. I get the symbolism. They believe that he is some type of god. I would too if I lived in a village and some muscular ass tattooed dude showed up who had a different skin tone as me, showed up out of the ocean with food or whatever the hell he brought for them, and then vanished back into the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, and that's what I explain to my kids, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, man, they could have cut this shit down. It didn't have to be a whole ass 17 and a half minutes. Sure, I could be exaggerating, but it sure as hell felt like 17 and a half minutes of just singing and this chick sniffing the sweater. So the battle sequence in the flashback where Diana, she had found out about from reading the murals, she's explaining to Bruce Wayne about this huge ass battle that happens, and it's really, really cool how they depict it. Uxas, who is Darkseid eventually, but in this point in his timeline, he's just Uxas. They don't explain that in the movie, but if you know, you know. And if you don't know, research it, or, I don't know, tell me for me to make a video about it. I'll explain Darkseid for you. Why the hell not? He goes to Earth to try and terraform it because that's what Darkseid does. He's looking for the anti-life equation. And the forces of Earth stand up against him. And it's really cool, just like you see in the original movie, except it's not Steppenwolf, it's Darkseid instead. And it does show a Green Lantern. I don't know which Green Lantern it is. I saw something online talk about it, but I don't remember the name. It doesn't matter. But I don't like how when he does do some damage, he flies up and looks at the camera and lingers with a smile for just like a millisecond too long. It was just long enough to be like, dude, move on. Go to the next shot already. Even though his bitch ass doesn't last very long, but my homie Derek, shout out to him, aka Kid Frankie, pointed out to me that when that character does die, the Green Lantern ring does not go off. Even though his hand is cut off, the Green Lantern ring does not shoot off until the character itself is killed. So I thought that's pretty cool. But Darkseid gets taken out like a with an axe blade to the shoulder, and then he's drugged off by the parademons. He's all bleeding and passes out. It's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. But the gods are fighting alongside them, and it's really, really cool. This whole sequence is really dope. Victor's origin is dope. You actually get to see it more about like the car crash that happens and his injuries and what the father does. It's awesome seeing what Silas does to save his son. Man, another thing I really liked was the vision of what's going to happen if/when Darkseid wins. And you get to see the death of Wonder Woman, the death of Arthur Curry, Superman turning evil because he's holding a charred skeleton in his hands, which you got to assume that's Lois Lane. There's a dead Green Lantern that kind of looks like Kilowog in the vision. It's really dark and really cool. Really, really intense. And the scene when Superman comes back is very similar to the original movie. However, there's a couple frames that are a bit longer. And Superman just seems even better. Speaking of which, the mouth issue is done way better in this one. You can't even tell that something was done. One thing I really didn't like is that they flash to a pregnancy test in Lois Lane's drawer later on in the movie in her apartment as the story progresses. I was like, damn, are they doing the same thing like from Superman Returns where Superman had knocked up Lois? Because the first thing I thought to myself is, damn, how is she able to handle that super semen shooting out that man? There's no way a human vag can handle that. But that pregnancy test, they don't explain anything about it. It's there, and they say a couple mentions about pregnancy in the movie. Martha says something very strange, like, you know, something like, I know, or something that someone says that they know that someone's pregnant without outwardly saying it, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was a subplot that really wasn't going to go anywhere just yet, but maybe it's setting up something. Or maybe she's just checking. I mean, shit, she's banging out Clark Kent. I mean, maybe it's just in there just to make her realistic. Honestly, I kind of think that's what it is. Maybe we're just all reading too much into it. There's a scene where Clark, after he comes back, which they really don't explain why he turned evil or why he had this whole mean side when he first came back. After that's all said and done, he goes back to his ship to find his suit. They don't really explain why he chooses black. And it doesn't make sense. You know, in the comics, the black suit was a Kryptonian healing suit. He got that after his battle with Doomsday, where they fought each other literally to death. Doomsday's body got strapped to a meteor that was sent far away from the planet. And Superman reemerged in his black costume with long hair. I forget why, but it was revealed that that costume was a Kryptonian healing costume. Pretty much like, I don't know, inject solar power into the cells or some shit like that. I really should have Wikipedia'd that before I did this, but whatever. But if this Superman's supposed to come back as a good guy and a symbol of hope, why black? You know, that suit is sleek, but you know, that's typically like a covert ops type suit. You know, like, I don't know. I think it was more for us though, but I feel like he got to get his original colors back. I mean, he's Superman. You know, he's not symbiote Spider-Man or Batman with a longer cape but no mask on. Barry traveling faster than the speed of light scene and him rewinding stuff, that was really cool. That was really, really well done. I thought that was a dope-ass scene. And I'm wondering if in the Flash movie that's supposed to be coming out, if we're going to have a Flashpoint situation where he's going to be going back in time and screwing everything up. Accidentally, of course, because he's a good guy. And this Flash, I could definitely see pulling some stuff like that because he just seems to be a goofball. Well, not really a goofball, but he seems, I don't know what it is, honestly. But very quirky, I guess. But let's finally talk about the epilogue, which really, it felt tacked on at the last minute, you know? We all thought that there was going to be some kind of nightmare sequence, but it turned out it was like a vision or a nightmare that Batman was having, and Jared Leto returns as a Joker, and I mean, he was better than his Suicide Squad iteration, but his placement as the Joker is still bottom of the list. Even with this new one, making some weird reach around joke and shit like that. Like, I don't know, man. He's just, I want him to do better. I want Jared Leto to do better. We have a great cameo, a really, really cool cameo though. He shows up earlier in the movie, but he shows up again at the end. And it is Martian Manhunter, who is actually played by Harry Lennox, who was in Man of Steel as the General, which means that Martian Manhunter has been here for a long time in the movies. So that's really cool. Really, really cool. And it turned out that when Martha visited Lois Lane earlier in the movie, trying to get her to go back into the world and be a reporter again, that's when we saw that pregnancy test I talked about earlier. It turns out that that was actually Martian Manhunter. And that was a really cool scene. I bet if we were in the theater watching that movie, we would have cheered hard for that shit. Because I sure as hell geeked out at the house. Ryan Zing played Ryan Choi. That character is the Atom later on in the Justice League canon, which is pretty cool. That was a cool little Easter egg. I don't know if he's going to show up in any movie, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But the epilogue, like I said, just felt very rushed, very tacked on. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Some of my friends really hated it, and I could see why. I didn't hate it, but I didn't feel like it was needed. But I swear I was sitting there because, you know, they showed the pictures and the trailer with the Joker earlier in our life. What? They showed the pictures and the trailers with the Joker in it. So, like, by the time the end of the movie was rolling up, I'm like, yo, where the hell is he at? Did he just film that just to hype us? So I was glad when they finally showed that. And, you know, it also ended with Ray Porter as Darkseid saying they're going to do the old ways since they can't use the mother boxes to invade Earth, because it turns out that that's where the anti-life equation is. They explain that in the movie. That's not a spoiler for later. So he says we're going to do it the old way, which is an invasion. So that's going to be pretty cool if they do a second movie, which I really hope they do. Really, really hope they do. And then finally at the end, there was a title card that said, "For Autumn," which is Zack Snyder's daughter, who tragically died, which is why he had to get off of the movie back in 2017. And the rendition of the song Hallelujah playing at the end was beautiful. I mean, it was touching, especially if you have read the story and the news about what happened. It's tragic. It really is. That being said, I just want to say it was a great movie. It was great to see this version, completely smashes the last one. It just sucks that it was so damn long. 4 hours is a long time for a damn movie. Any movie. Especially a movie that I've already seen 2 hours of years ago. Now multiple times because my kids love the Justice League movie because, they're kids. Who doesn't like The Flash and Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman? Like, this is all the popular ones. Granted, I didn't say Cyborg and Aquaman. I know what I didn't say. Screw you. But this movie handled all the characters really well, I feel like. I do think that Batman was kind of like the lowest of all the characters, but I feel like that's okay because Batman has a ton of movies. This movie wasn't about him. So, that being said, I'm going to give this movie an A. Very good. Very good. This is how it should have been. Congratulations to the Snyders for finally getting this out. Congratulations to the fans who fought for this. And finally, rest in peace, Autumn Snyder. And remember, all of you watching, you are not alone. And reach out if you ever have any dangerous thoughts. Love yourselves and love each other. Or do like I do, which is live up, smoke out, and game on. I'm your boy Token Drew, and I'm out this bitch. See you on Wednesday with my review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. As well as check out my album, LuSoGo Collector's Edition. Peace.
Gotta stay focused. Government does what it wants, fuck the voters. But that's the big picture. Let's get down to street level. Try to put a wall over everyone's eyes. I be blind, still go daredevil. All these niggas think they so special. Everybody claim they a trap boss. Every chick think they the baddest bitch. Yes, my real last here to piss you off. Everybody in the hood is slanging pounds. Who the hell is buying? Where the fuck the business? Honey, you may think you the baddest broad, but you just a story. Yo, nigga, I hit it. Dope when you make out the fire ganj. In the end, it's all just weed. Shorty, you make it, the bomb is head, but you ain't the first one to give it to me. I ain't a drug dealer, but I still got the water cash. Not trying to brag, just stating the fact. Spend what I want, and I make it all back. In a matter of days, I still get paid. Bitch, don't like my game, I still get laid. And I don't give a damn if you like my shade. I'm DJ Shades, I still get played. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Drew be on that real shit. I'm on that real shit. Who be on that real shit? I'm on that real shit. Real talk, we similar. I hustle, you hustle. I rise, you rise. I struggle and you struggle. Is my shit so different? Cause I talk like